Hey, everybody, and welcome to the NintendoFuse podcast. We are in episode 168 entitled Rumors and Direct Reactions, and we're going to be doing a lot of that today. My name is Steve. I'm your host, but I am also joined by Greg. Hey, Greg, how's it going?
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Doing pretty
Pretty
good.
well,
Yourself?
pretty well. Be
Yeah.
excited to talk games with you, Greg, and we're also joined by Barry. Hey, Barry.
Hey, Steve, and everybody. Let's do this.
Let's do this. We got a lot to talk about today in terms of, like I said, rumors and the Nintendo Direct that finally did happen. But before we jump into that, let's talk about what we've been playing lately. So, Greg, how about you go first? What's been occupying your Nintendo Switch recently?
Let's see. I think it's just been the same as last time. A little bit of Smash Brothers here and a little bit of Paw Patrol over there. So,
Nice.
I'm very close, like inching my way towards doing that, and I'm looking forward to playing a lot more Switch this week and the following week. So, that's been my plan of action. I'm still going after Dragalia Lost and Fire Emblem Heroes, so that's a little bit easier to keep up with since it's on a mobile device.
Cool. You make any further like progress in the single player stuff for Smash?
No, I'm still in like the lower, the towards the end of it. I think there's only like a few more spirits left to challenge, I believe. So I don't know how far you guys are, if you completed it or not. So I didn't really want to spoil it if you didn't make it there.
I know Barry, you got like 100%, right?
Yeah.
Or basically, yeah. So yeah, I've still got to go back to the single player. Recently, the only times I'm playing Smash is with friends, and so we just battle each other, and I haven't been back to the single player in a while.
Yeah, I still haven't touched the multiplayer yet.
Nice. Like how we approach games in the complete opposite way. Like I barely touched the single player in Splatoon, and that's pretty much all you play. So
yeah, did you unlock all the characters though, Steve, or do you still have some? Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I grinded through that. I think like it was within the first week or so of having the game. I did a lot of grinding and try to get them all unlocked because I had some friends coming over 1 week and I wanted to get them all unlocked before they came over to play. So I spent a couple afternoons and evenings getting them all unlocked.
I think I still have like another 10 or something left, I think, but
yeah, I just did it like the like I said, the grinding way. I haven't played through all the single player to unlock them that way. So I probably would have, but it's too much to like to have to do all that to get to the brand new characters. I was like, no, I'm gonna do it this quick way and get it done. So. Barry, what you been playing lately?
A lot of the same too. I've been doing on the phone. I've been doing Pokemon Go and Dragalia Lost, of course. And on the Switch, I haven't done as much. I did Tetris 99 when that came out, which we'll talk about, and the Deus Ex Machina demo. I played quite a lot of the prototype missions. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, my impressions. We have a game chat on that, both of those actually going up here soon on the site. And believe it or not, I've actually powered on my 3DS.
Wow.
I have been playing some Etrian Odyssey Nexus, which I love the Etrian Odyssey series. And so far, this one isn't my favorite, but it's, it's interesting. It's a little more build your own custom party kind of deal than the other ones are, because there's more classes, and it's tougher than I remember. At least reviving, it's harder to revive people. At least early in the game, I had to run back to town to stay at the inn to revive. Oh, this is old school Final Fantasy kinda. I don't remember it being like that in 4 and 5, but it's been a while since I played those, so it totally could be, and I just could be blanking it. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I actually hope to move on to Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story on the 3DS while I have it up and running. But yeah, it's a shocker to include that in my now playing.
Especially since we talked about last podcast that the 3DS is most likely gonna be dying, and
yeah,
you booted it up for the first time in a long time.
It just came out, new games. They've still tuned two more physical games confirmed, which is Persona Q2 and Kirby Extra Epic Yarn. But we'll see what comes in the future. Who knows? Nintendo could be like, here's a new Direct that's just 3DS software.
It's very true. And all our predictions about the Mini or whatever Switch Mini is going to go away, and 3DS lives on for another year. Man.
What about you?
So I have been playing Tetris 99 as well. Spent a lot of time with that, and looking forward to actually hearing you guys game chat about it, because I had my own thoughts about that game. Just wasn't able to make it in the game chat, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about that. It's been fun, but it's a different kind of Tetris game for sure. And especially because you're competing with 99 other players at the same time, and they don't really give you a whole lot of information about how to play the game. You just got to figure it out. But there's a lot of tutorials out there. There's a couple videos that I'd say Game Explain has some really cool tutorials out there, and they've got a guy that is doing some videos, like some tip videos and stuff. So if you need some stuff, that's probably one of the best places to go about that game. But I did, to Barry's delight, play some Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna over the last couple weeks, and I've actually made it to Torna with my party of, I think, like 9 or 10 people that are in my party now. So it's kind of crazy how big it keeps growing. But it's been pretty fun. Barry, there's one thing that I'd forgotten to say the last time I had played it, which was like several months ago. And I want to know if this is just me, or if you also, even though you love this game, I want to know if it also bothered you when you open a chest or you go searching or whatever. Like, I do not like the fact that I have to actually walk around in a circle to pick up everything. Like, why don't I just get it automatically?
It never really bothered me.
It's like a little thing.
There are
yeah.
I know in the original you could upgrade some of the blades to have like a pull things in, but I think Torna might have one of the blades, because Torna does only have 9 characters. It's much truncated. It's 3 primaries and 6 blades, and that's your whole party. You don't get any more than that. So, have you made it to the capital of Torna?
No, I just got to Torna and called it quits that day because I'd already played for a few hours. Okay. But yeah, I just got to, I think the city. I think I'd walked around just a little bit, but that's about it.
Okay, yeah, because Torna is not really big. I mean, like what they allow you to do in the game. You're honestly, if you wanted to just push through to the end of the game, you could probably push through in maybe just a couple hours at this point. I know you have to help a certain amount of residents in order to continue. I never hit that as a wall because I would always do every side quest as it came up. But if you haven't been doing side quests, you may have to go back to Lake Gourmet and do some side quests there. But side quests are always fun and they're always rewarding to me, so I don't mind doing them. Plus, it tells you where to go. I mean, it's not like it's go find this, have fun.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting because it held your hand a lot more than I expected it to, which is helpful for someone that's trying to get through the game quicker. But yeah, I started off doing all the side quests, and then I got tired, and I was like, I just want to beat this game, and so I've cut back on them since then.
Yeah, I know there is a wall at one point, like you have to do a certain amount, and there is a reward for doing all of them. Pretty much, it unlocks the I think the key is unlocked. I don't forget. The side quest unlocks something, and there's keys around that. If you get all those, that unlocks like the golden bosses. And the golden bosses are like level 120 something, like super bosses around it. So it's like there is end game content even in this prequel.
Interesting.
But good. I want you to finish it. I really like that ending is amazing. Like it's so powerful, and wow, like the music. I can just gush about the music forever.
I do really. I enjoyed the music. I think it kind of like just weaves in together. It's a really cool soundtrack for sure, and how they incorporate it within the game. So, at this point, I don't think I would put it above Breath of the Wild, but it's definitely a quality game for sure. So.
But yeah, you're still early. I mean, you're still like about halfway there, I should say.
Yeah. So, before we move on to all the news and discussion and everything about all the rumors and Nintendo Direct, I do want to remind you, everybody that's listening, both watching live and listening later, that we have an interactive time while tune in live on Facebook, not Facebook. What am I talking about?
Facebook Live.
To tune in live. We love interacting with you guys in the chat. But after the fact as well, if you want to throw in comments wherever you do watch and listen the podcast, that'd be great. And love to know your thoughts about everything that we're talking about. But if you are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be alerted about every new video that we post here on our channel, and every time we go live with podcast or gameplay and all those different things. If you're listening after the fact on some other podcast app of choice, be sure to subscribe there. And if you like what you hear, be sure to leave a positive comment. That kind of helps us rise to the top and helps other people find us and tune in as well. So with all that being said, let's jump into the news discussion. We have information, at least it seems like, from a Game Informer's senior editor. He says he's still looking for more sources to confirm this, but it looks like Nintendo is going to be releasing, or they're working on releasing a brand new game. But it's a previously canceled game, something that was dead and gone, that supposedly was forever buried, but now they are going to be bringing it back. Barry, what do you think about this game? And like, is it going to happen? And what do you think it could be?
Well, I think anything's possible. I think if Nintendo is the king of left fields, so anything is possible, and they've proven that already, with other cases. When I first saw this, I was like, oh my God, I hope this is a Nintendo franchise. Like, I've been looking for Star Tropics 3 for so long. Like, please bring that series back, or any of Nintendo's dormant series, because they have a lot of dormant IP. And then there's a rumor that just came out today that it appears, the rumor says that Nintendo is actually bringing Scalebound, the canceled Microsoft Platinum Games game, back to fruition for the Switch. Now, there are a couple things to note about this. While it is a Microsoft IP, Microsoft did not get to re-register the trademark. So I don't know if Nintendo or if Microsoft still technically owns the IP and they would get royalties if Microsoft would sell the IP to Nintendo, or if Microsoft has no more claim on the IP and everything fell back to Platinum, in which case they could do whatever they want. But if that's the case, then it's be another Nintendo Platinum collaboration. And at this point, I just keep asking the question, why aren't you buying Platinum at this point? Like, just make them a second party. You're working with them like a second party already. Just get them exclusive on the Switch. You got Astral Chain, you got Bayonetta 3. Like, you've got a really good working relationship. Maybe bring Wonderful 101. Get these properties on the Switch. So, I don't know. I hope they buy them. I think they need to. Microsoft is showing a strong arm in buying up properties. And at the same time, they're also showing a strong arm of giving their games to everyone else. So, including one that was shown in the Direct. So,
Right.
It could be Scalebound. That is a very real possibility, and I would be very excited if it is. If it's not Scalebound, then I hope it's an old dormant Nintendo IP, and my prayers would be for Star Tropics 3.
Nice. Yeah, I really have no clue what this could be. I mean, we've made rumors, or we made predictions and stuff in the past, but I have no idea. Greg, you got any ideas that what Nintendo could be supposedly bringing back?
Well, I guess that also kind of we need to know like some of the stuff that's been like canceled, because isn't it kind of like something that's like was actually like, being made a la like Star Fox 2, but like then it was canceled, or is it like? I mean, we have no idea. I mean, it could be something like
64.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, I think we were saying like we don't even know if the public ever knew about this game or not.
Yeah, but I mean, my personal guess. I mean, obviously, Mother 3 fits right in with that, so it's kind of like they've had to have considered bringing it over.
Mother 3 was never a canceled thing, though. It did come out. This is something that never came out.
I know it came out in Japan. It didn't come out here.
Yeah,
but it specifically is a dead thing. Like Mother 3 did come out.
Yeah, it seems like that they're kind of hinting toward it, that this is an actual dead game that never made it out at all. Sort of thing. But yeah, we don't know if it was something that we knew about and knew it was canceled, or if this is something that maybe never made it to the public eye. We really don't really have any information on that.
All right, Mario 128. Let's go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's definitely one of those things that we can only speculate about because, I mean, we have no clue. And hopefully the guy from Game Informer does eventually get his sources and we find out some more information. But until then,
It's the Legend of Zelda Space World 2000 demo as a full game.
yes. We also got some information about Kingdom Hearts. And to a lot of people's dismay, we have a full confirmation that Kingdom Hearts 3 is not going to be able to happen on the Switch, mostly because it's just underpowered. Not going to be able to keep up. But there is a pretty good chance, at least it seems like, that the 1 and 2 remakes, was it like 1.5 and 2.5, I think, are possibly going to be coming to Switch. Greg, is this something you'd be excited about if they do come over?
I think so. I did give like Drop Dream Distance like a chance, and I guess it was kind of hard to kind of understand what was going on and trying to follow along with it. So I think getting to actually know the main series, it could be pretty interesting. So I do love Disney a lot, like with Nintendo. So if they did bring Kingdom Hearts over, I'd definitely be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I never got into the Kingdom Hearts games, but if they brought those over, that could definitely be a good entry point for me as well. Barry, are you a big Kingdom Hearts fan?
Yeah, I am actually, and I just realized that's one of the things I forgot to say is that I'm actually playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Though I'm not playing it heavily. There's little gripes I have, but I'm playing it slowly. Um, but yeah, I think it'd be smart. I mean, Nintendo and Disney already are very parallel companies in a sense. It sucks that 3 couldn't go on the Switch, but considering that 1 and 2 were PS2 games and 1.5 and 2.5 both came out in the PS3, there's no reason they couldn't run on the Switch. So even if that's all we got were the PS3 versions of the game, not the PS4 versions, I think it would still be fine. And I think there's an audience for it. And it's not like Kingdom Hearts is a stranger to Nintendo. And Chain of Memories, 358 over 2, and Dream Drop Distance, Recoded. They're all Nintendo systems. So why not? I'm all for it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 will come out on the Switch Pro edition. That's what we think is
Could be.
maybe it could happen. We also got another rumor, and this one's from Emily Rogers, who has long been known to have some insider connections and stuff. And then Go Nintendo also reported on this almost immediately after kind of Emily got the information out there that apparently virtual reality has been talked about on the Nintendo Switch for a while now. People had found it kind of in the coding and stuff like that there was some sort of thing there about it. We really didn't know. We've speculated a lot about it, but it seems like, at least according to these rumors, that there's going to be a Labo kit, a Nintendo Labo kit that maybe you can toss your Nintendo Switch into and have virtual reality on the Nintendo Switch. And not only that, will it come with like the regular Labo stuff and everything, but apparently there's also some rumors that existing games could also be updated to include virtual reality, and then there are going to be some additional games that you could play VR that haven't been released yet. So I know Barry's already getting excited about the possibility of Virtual Boy coming to Switch finally. But beyond that, Greg, what do you think about these rumors? Are they actually going to happen? I mean, they're coming from good sources.
I mean, it seems kind of likely. I mean, I think Nintendo's even said that they've always been looking into it, and if they see an opportunity, then they would go through with it. I mean, they do have like some of the cameras and the Joy-Cons and stuff, so I'm sure they can figure out some way to make a virtual reality experience with their fancy cardboard. So, yeah, I think it would be pretty nice to see. I mean, I haven't really got any of the Labo kits yet, but this one might turn the tide for me. So, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I think my biggest fear of it is, well, two biggest fears. One, I hope it's not that difficult to build because I've only built like two things for my first Labo kit. And a second, and I know Barry, I think we agree in this. I hope I'm not puking the whole time. What do you think about this? Like, because it's not a whole lot of the refresh rate is not that high on a Snow Switch, so I might be like just having to take Dramamine before I play this thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. The other thing I'm also like if this comes out to fruition, I have to buy it due to obligation. But I pray before I even actually use this thing that they release some kind of plastic or rubber or something peripheral to put the Switch in instead of the cardboard, because I don't want to trust my $300 Switch in cardboard, and especially like VR, like something comes up my head, like whoa, it just goes flying off, smack. Last thing I hear is a smack and it shattered against the wall. Like
Right.
the heck, So
Yeah.
I don't want anything like that, and that scares me tremendously, because especially with Nintendo's, everything's on this one system, it's tied to the system. Well, my system's in a million pieces thanks to your VR thing. I don't know what kind of wrist straps they're gonna do. You'll be like a puppet marionette, like tied so your Switch doesn't go flying or whatever. I don't know. I think VR is smart. It has to be done well. Like, PSVR works and it works well, but there are some games that just totally make me sick. And the Pro helped alleviate that because the Pro was able to handle faster refresh rates. The Switch is nowhere near as powerful as the Pro. So that does worry me. Like, that is, if they're going to do VR, that is a definite reason for a Switch Pro. Like, if nothing else, for VR. Like, refresh rate is so important. And for people who have never done VR, they don't understand. Like, if the refresh rate is bad, you will get sick. Unless you like have a iron stomach or something, you will get sick. It screws with your mind. A fast refresh rate is what you need, because in reality, we have the fastest refresh rate as is. So yeah, it is a worry, but I'll get it. I if it's real, I hope they utilize it in really cool ways, and I kind of hope that if they do make any VR software outside of like mini games, they make it a special mode, so it's not like, if you want to play this game, like the newest Zelda, you have to play in VR and only in VR. And if it makes me nauseously sick, it'll be the only Zelda game I can never finish, and that will piss me off. Make me have a non-VR mode so I can at least play that. So I guess we'll see, but it's interesting. It's certainly, thinking, using another box, so to speak, with the Labo.
Right. Right. I think my biggest thing, other than the refresh rate stuff too, is the size of it. And maybe this is the way, like they create the mini so that's like smaller on your face. But I found my own thoughts around like the refresh rate and stuff, because I have a plastic, basically a Google Cardboard, but a nicer one that's made out of plastic and everything. And I tried it even with my iPhone XS the other day, and I got sick like almost immediately. Like I was watching some video, like two videos, and like within 5 minutes I was ready to puke. And I'm like, if my iPhone can't keep it up with just like some lenses in front of it to make it VR, like I don't know how my Nintendo Switch is going to keep me from wanting to just throw up.
Have you tried PSVR at all?
I haven't yet. No. I only have a original PS4, and so I've heard the things that you're saying too. And so if I had a Pro, I'd probably be more likely to get it. But at the same time, because I've had just bad experiences with home VR, I'm not excited to go pick it up, because I want to. If I'm going to spend that kind of money on something, I don't want to puke every time I play it, I guess.
You can build up a resistance, but it's tough. Like when you get the motion sickness from VR, like you're out for the day. Like you're just knocked out. Don't have any plans after you do VR, because you're not doing them.
Right. Julio Chavez in the chat saying he's been talking about Kingdom Hearts. He's been playing 3 and would love to play it on the go as well. So that sounds great. I think that's one of the coolest things, and we've said this many times about Switch, is that to be able to take these games on the go, games that you're normally stuck to a TV. It's cool to take them on the go. So, well, that's all the rumors. Now let's move into some definite stuff that's been happening. We finally got a Nintendo Direct. We had one on February 13th, so not even a week ago. We finally got our Nintendo Direct. Just a quick overview of what happened. There was a lot of stuff, some big games and everything. It lasted about 35 minutes, if I remember correctly. Happened that afternoon. A lot of stuff that we did know. We just kind of got updated information about it, some release dates and stuff like that. They showed off some things that we had, we assumed already were going to happen, and got those sort of things. But we did get several new announcements as well, and we're going to jump into those in just a second. But I wanted to get your guys like quick initial reactions about the Direct. Do you think it was solid, or were you still like expecting more? Let's go to Barry first.
For me, easy 9.5, easy. And I've seen people post that they were disappointed. And I can't fathom how anyone could truly be disappointed in this Direct unless all you play is Call of Duty, Call of Duty and Madden. Like, if those all you play, then you probably shouldn't be watching a Nintendo Direct, because it's clearly not for you. But if you're even remotely interested in Nintendo stuff, I don't see how you could truly be disappointed. And I see like the main reason people because no Animal Crossing. You know it's coming. They didn't promise you Animal Crossing. Like, you can't go into a Nintendo Direct expecting this game to be shown, or any game shown, unless they specifically tell you, because you're only going to set yourself up for disappointment. Know it's coming. Be happy it's coming. That's it. But for me, easy 9.5. There are a few games that just don't interest me, like Dead by Daylight and the Disney Zoom Zoom. But pretty much everything else is like, as soon as I can pre-order that sucker, I am doing it. That looks amazing. I love it.
Nice. So, Greg, apart from the first thing that we're going to talk about, general impressions of the Direct.
Overall, I thought it was definitely very solid. I do agree with Barry. It was very good. Seemed like there was something for everybody. So I don't know how you could not like the Direct. I did see a negative criticism. It was kind of somebody said it was like an anime Direct, so I guess they felt there was too many games that have anime characters, but I don't know where they got that from, or where they made that assumption, because there's plenty of good stuff coming along the way. So
yeah. I kind of got that vibe as well, actually. As I was watching it, I did feel like this was there was a lot of games that seemed to be focused on Japanese culture, sort of things that Japanese players would be very excited about, that Western audiences also enjoy. But I kind of got that vibe as well. I don't think that's a negative thing, but yeah, I did kind of get that vibe as well.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like a lot of the stuff that I'm interested in it was quite a lot of it, to be honest. So
yeah, it definitely showed up a whole lot of things, and we're going to get into that right away. So I thought we would just kind of walk through the order that they did in the Nintendo Direct, and kind of just spend some time talking about and reacting to each of the things. And the first thing that they showed off right from the very beginning totally made Greg upset. I know. It was Greg, I know you're weeping. You're just like, why would they come up with this game? That's just stupid. They don't need a Super Mario Maker 2. Like,
are you kidding me?
Why would anybody want that?
I heard him cheering over here, across the country. All just woo! They just echoed across the country. I'm like, yep, that's Greg.
Oh man! So the Wii U and 3DS game finally got its sequel. Super Mario Maker 2 is going to come this June on Nintendo Switch. Greg, time to let all the excitement out. What do you think about this game?
I just cannot wait, man. As soon as it's up for pre-order in the eShop, it's gonna be sold. So I can't believe it's finally coming. I predicted earlier this year, in our 2008 or 19 predictions, that Mario Maker 2 was coming. I mean, you kind of knew it was coming with everything leading up to it, but the community is all alive and excited for it, and there's so many new elements that you could just pull. I pulled out of the trailer. I mean, I even did an analysis on it, because I was just super stoked just to find out all the new things that they're added in. So, I mean, obviously the main thing there's like slopes, and then they also have a bunch of new themes. They have some new control options, like with having the like on and off switches activate and turn off different blocks. There's like new platforms to ride on that can like go back and forth. I mean, there's like piece by piece, there's just so much stuff that they've added in, and it's definitely a sequel, not nowhere near a port, and definitely cannot wait for June because I feel like it's been one of those things where it's like, oh, it's E3 and it's available tomorrow, and it's like but you know,
Nice.
I could definitely see them doing that in like a tournament that they have at E3 again too, like they've done in 2015 with the Wii U version.
Yeah, it's true. So, Barry, are you equally as excited as Greg, or can you really compete with that kind of excitement?
I guess I can't say equally as excited because Greg continued playing the Wii U version long after I quit. But I'm very
Same
excited.
here.
I am looking forward to the new elements. I'm looking forward to all the new troll levels I get to play through. And I'm looking forward to creating a bunch of troll levels for my friends because I can be that kind of asshole. Like the just the options that this game already brings just from what we've seen is incredible. My only concern is designing the levels. Is it going to come with a stylus? Like the touch screen for the 3D or for the Switch is very different than the Wii U and the 3DS, and the stylus worked so well in creating levels. So I really hope I don't have to use my finger or the cursor. Like I hope they do something to make it intuitive, because I want to make like really intricate levels, and if it's a pain to do that, that's gonna be a deterrent, and that's one of the things the Wii U version and the 3DS version had going for it. It was very easy; anyone can pick up and make a level. So I hope they do something to make it so anyone can make a level.
Yeah, that's a good point because the Wii U and the 3DS both had like the touch or what's it called, the sense I forget
So
what.
the one touch,
Yeah, basically.
touchscreen.
So like it's impact sort of thing. And so like this with being a multi-touch and everything, I'm guessing we could use all the mini styluses that are out there or styli that are out there for iPhone screens and iPads and stuff like that. That's just generic ones. But I wonder if you'd have that precise control that you might need. I hope it's not annoying as well. But all that to be said, like I'm more excited to play other people's levels. That's just how I play Super Mario Maker. I dabble around with making my own, but I really enjoy playing other people's creations more than I do creating my own. And so that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. I'm wondering, maybe I don't think there's enough information out there, but I'm wondering if all the original levels that people created, if there'll be some sort of integration with that. Greg, what do you think?
I mean, seeing people request that they'd love to see that, but I don't know if they'll be able to do something like that. Because I mean, I know they're like tied to the Wii U, and it had like Miiverse originally, like stuff, and I don't know if they'll be able to easily have that stuff ported over. I mean, obviously they just have to leave the servers up and running, and you just still access the courses, but I don't know. That's kind of like an interesting take. I mean, you don't really need any of the new elements to play the old levels, so there's not really a reason to take them down outside of just like playing people's levels that we no longer have been playing the game for quite a while. So
Yeah.
that does bring up the other point is if they are going to allow you to bring up your levels, then you definitely would need to be able to link your account to have all like the stars and stuff that you've earned on the new game. So I know a number of people that would love to have that because basically that just controlled how many levels you could upload to the servers and all of that. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess people could start from scratch, but it'd be nice to have that to kind of, I mean, what if this game launched in June and all of a sudden you have thousands of all these levels that are already created from the first game that you could already start to play in addition to all the new ones that are being created.
I mean, I would think they'd want to push all the new items and just kind of have everybody start fresh and fair, but I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to be able to access your old levels and stuff, but they'd have to. I mean, you can't really have any of them saved to the cloud. They're all on your Wii U console, so.
That's true. That's true. Barry, any other thoughts about Super Mario Maker 2?
Yeah, there was one thing I noticed, or maybe didn't notice. I didn't notice any Super Mario Brothers 1 or 2 Japan or Lost Levels graphics. Like I saw Mario 3, Mario World, New Super U, and Mario 3D World, but I didn't see any original Mario or Lost Levels in there.
There was a couple. There was a few seconds of the first one. Yeah.
Was there? I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing.
Yeah, they didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but it was in there. There's a couple clips.
Yeah, there was like a clip of him like running on one of the airship levels from Mario 1. I think that's where they showed that we could drag the screen up and make the
Oh, I thought that was
levels.
Mario 3. I didn't realize that was Mario 1.
Yeah, it throws it off because of the airship and
Yeah, because the airship is Mario 3 to me.
Yeah, there was another one. I think he was just bouncing around on just some regular platforms or something too.
Do you think we will see like Mario 2 or anything else besides 3D World? Because like 3D World seems to be one of the skins, which is great, and I'm happy for that. But do you think we'll even like a 2D version of Mario 64 style or a 2D version of Sunshine? Because 3D World wasn't a 2D game, so anything like that, or are we just going to get that as the only additional new skin with the other 4?
I don't know. I mean, I know Nintendo was aware that people were asking for Super Mario 2, like USA, I guess, whatever you want to call it. The not quite a Mario game, but made a Mario game, like skin style. So they might be able to add that in, but there's a lot of other complex stuff that goes with it that, I mean, now it's been used like universally like today, but not so much in like Mario 3 or Mario World and stuff like that. So
yeah. I think it'd be helpful. It'd be cool to see that, but I don't know if I don't think it's got as much demand as like the original one, 3D World, things like that, because people are more familiar with that. And if those were missing, it'd be weird. But 2 missing it's okay, but it'd be really cool if they did add it in there.
Do you think we'll see more bosses besides Bowser Jr., and now Boom Boom? Like, will we see the Koopa Kids? Will we see? Heck, they could even bring Mario 2 bosses like Mauser and stuff like that. Like,
bring back Wart.
Or the Mario World had some extra Bowsers, like a Ranzar, the Triceratops.
I don't know. I think they might just be leaving it at Boom Boom and maybe possibly the female version from Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, Pom Pom or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to play it. I know Greg's going to be probably like starting up his contest and all these other things too. So who knows what's going to happen?
He's foaming at the mouth right now.
He's currently doing that. Hey, Jakester, just join us in the chat. Hey, how's it going? And let us know what you're playing, Jakester, and what you think about the Nintendo Direct. We just got done talking about Super Mario Brothers, or not Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Maker 2. And after they did that, they gave us
homework assignment to play through all the levels.
All of them. After that, they did move on to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, which gave us a little more information about that. I know I'm really excited about this game. I loved 1 and 2, played a lot of those with some friends. Really excited about playing with those friends again, because we're all spread out in different places, but you can play online with your friends, which is great. Either of you guys excited about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3?
Not particularly. I've never really been huge into like the Marvel like universe type games, so that was one of the few lower points of the Direct for me. So
no, I didn't play the Marvel Universe. I played the X-Men Legends, but I am looking forward to this. I'm a big Marvel fan, and I think this will be a lot of fun, and especially with online. So we can maybe join together and kick some arse together.
Yeah, we could, me, you, and Mike can have another all-night gaming session.
All night. We'll call it Marvel Ultimate Alliance Trine Edition.
Yes. It's gonna be so much better. Hey, then the Trine's coming out again on Switch pretty soon. So that wasn't in the Direct though. They moved on after Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 to talk about Box Boy. Box Boy, this game that it's a fun game. A lot of people enjoy Box Boy. We thought it was kind of dead and gone with the now seemingly dying 3DS, but they're bringing Box Boy back for the Switch, and so Box Boy plus Box Girl, or Box Boy and Box Girl, is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch on April 26th, so just a few weeks away, and it's going to be bringing a 2-player mode to Box Boy and Box Girl. Barry, are you a Box Boy fan?
I never played any of them. I wanted to play them. I was hoping that the trilogy would get released here physically, and then I was going to play them. I imported the QB amiibo because I had no choice. They didn't even bring that over here. And then this was announced, and I'm like, yes, yes. And then I saw eShop only, and I'm like, no, no, you didn't learn. So, as much as I want to play it, unless they send me a code, I am not going to be playing this version.
Yeah, I played the original and I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if I'll pick this one up. I never beat the original, so if I ever do fire up my 3DS, I could still play it. Greg, are you a Box Boy fan?
Yeah, I played through all three of them. I really enjoyed all the games, but that's the multiplayer part is the part that it's not my usual cup of tea. So I don't know. Maybe I might be able to convince my wife to play it with me because I do really love the Box Boy puzzles, and it's always really cool to figure them out in such creative ways that they use those different boxes and everything. So
Yeah, yeah, I think it's cool to play through those puzzle games multiplayer. I also enjoy it. We've said this a lot of times, but uh,
Snipper
oh
clips.
shoot, Snipper Clips. I love playing that multiplayer, and so this kind of seems like one of those. So yeah, I may end up picking up just because of the multiplayer. But if it wasn't for that, I'd probably skip it because there's still a lot that I need to finish in the original. But yeah, hey, Charveon, I am probably mispronouncing that, but hey, in the chat, looks like SHSL theorist, welcome and thanks for joining us. After Box Boy and Boss Girl, they moved on to talk about Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and basically this next update, version 3, I believe, is going to be arriving before April. So just weeks away, and this version 3 is going to be it's going to include Joker as the next playable fighter. So if you have that fighter's pass that you've already purchased, you can get Joker from Persona 3 during that, and you're also going to be able to get Snake and Simon, Squirtle, Pokemon Trainer, and Ivysaur amiibo later this year. Quick thoughts to what you guys think about this Smash Brothers Ultimate update. You guys excited to play as Joker? What do you think, Barry?
I'm excited, but this was probably a lot of people's lowest points of the Direct, only because I know a lot of people were watching just for Smash stuff because it's all that they seem to care about. And this was a big tease. This whole thing was a tease. In fact, it took me 2 or 3 rewatches to realize that when it showed the Switch with like question marks, there was actually a blurred out image in each of those question marks. They weren't the same image twice. It was 2 different things. And I think back to the last time they did that, it was the spirit mode that had like the blurred out. What's this in the bottom corner? Well, it's blurred out. We'll talk about it later. And I'm wondering, could this be like Break the Targets coming back, Board the Platforms, Home Run Contest, stuff like that, actually coming back, which is one of my predictions, that they were going to be doing it in just, updates for free throughout the year. I'm hoping that's what the blurred out stuff was. I'm happy for Joker. I have the fighter pass and obviously a Persona stage and Persona music. I was hoping to get info on the second character, at least a hint. But other than that, this was really just a tease and getting to see Joker's character model briefly.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see the whole thing.
Right. And I do, Jakester pointed out in the chat, it is Persona 5. My bad. I said 3. But actually, Charveon, if I'm mispronouncing your name, please tell me. But he asked, or she asked, do you think it's possible we're getting a stage builder for Smash Brothers if you pre-order Super Mario Maker 2? That could be interesting, like an interesting tie-in. Like if you pre-order this other stage building game, we're actually going to bring stage builder to Smash Brothers Ultimate, something that a lot of people have been wanting. I don't know if that exact thing's going to happen, but I know I would personally love to have stage builder as a future update in Smash Brothers. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that the stage builder would definitely be possible. If Mario Maker is in fact going to have like a stylus, that would be perfect to have for designing stages as well. So you would definitely get other uses out of it if they did go that route. So yeah, in terms of the direct footage, it was basically what you guys were just saying. It was just like all big tease and like, oh, guess what's coming? Oh, we're not going to tell you. Wait to see next month. So it's like, okay, like, yes, there's lots of things I want: board the platforms, break the targets, home run contests, trophies. I don't know. I mean, all sorts of stuff they could really throw in there, but we won't know until I guess the update drops, unless they do like a actual like mini direct or something on it. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering, if they left a lot of that information out because they're going to do a dedicated video just the update and free share updates, and maybe right before the update releases or something like that to provide more information. Because I also was like, for such a big game, they didn't really talk about it a whole lot. But that does hint to me that there's more to come.
Yeah.
So, Julio was asking about Smash Brothers, if it's an easy game for someone who wants to pick it up that hasn't played the older games. Yes, it's definitely a pretty easy game in my opinion, and I think all of us pretty much agree in that that it's an easy game to kind of jump into.
Yeah, I mean there is a slight learning curve, but you kind of pick it up as you go, and you see what kind of works for different characters. So if you find yourself getting creamed by some like the AI, then you might need to change to a different character or change your approach on how you're using the one you're trying to use. So because certain characters are supposed to fight different styles and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, moving on, they turn their attention to Captain Toad, of all things, and Captain Toad is getting an update to include a 2-player mode, and it's going to eventually get 18 more courses. They're going to be for a paid download, but if you can also pre-purchase that today or at the day of the direct, and you could also get one of those 18 courses out as just a free bonus for that. Yeah, I was surprised to see an update for Captain Toad. I thought, that game's quality, I love it, but I thought it was like done. I thought, that was it, but I was really surprised to see an update. Greg, were you equally surprised with this?
oh, definitely I was surprised, but I wasn't planning to pick it up on Switch because I had played the Wii U version. So, I mean, the update's not convincing me to go out and purchase it either. So, I know it's still new content, and there was obviously new content already on the Switch version, but I felt like I pretty much saw and enjoyed what I had on the Wii U. So,
Yeah. I agree. I already picked it up for Switch, but this does give me more. Barry, is this enough to go back to Captain Toad?
Captain Toad is one of those things that I really enjoyed completely on the Wii U, and while I got it on the 3DS and Switch, I haven't replayed it. In fact, the 2 times this year that I've taken trips to Tennessee, I brought Captain Toad with me both times, with the intention of playing. First time Octopath took all my time, and the second time Ys 8 did. So I never got a chance to replay it because they added in the find the 8-bit Toads with the amiibo, but they added that functionality into the Wii U game after I had already beaten it, and I didn't really want to go through every level again trying to find the Toads. So this new update is going to be adding like crowns or something to every level as well to find, it seems. So I might do it now, because now it's like, all right, now I can go through and find the 8-bit Toads and the crowns, and it's been long enough where I don't remember all the solutions. I mean, I'm sure some will come back to me. So it'll almost be like a brand new game, especially with the brand new levels. So when that drops, depending on what it's close to and what else is out at that time, I very well might do it.
Yeah. I haven't beaten it at all. I picked it up on Switch because I didn't finish it on Wii U, and so a lot of that stuff is still brand new to me, and it's cool that they keep adding stuff. I just keep saying I thought it was a game that they just kind of was done with, but I was really surprised to see all these updates. Charvan's asking if you think Nintendo forgot about Poke Park. What do you guys think about that? I forgot about Poke Park. I don't know if you guys did.
I sure did. I mean, I didn't even realize it was a game.
Oh yeah, it was 2 games actually. I didn't play them. I have them, but at this point they were both Wii games. So at this point, I mean, it's possible. But if you said, hey, Nintendo's going to bring an older title or sequel to an older title, Poke Park is not going to be anywhere near the top of my list. But if it's at the top of your list and it comes out, then I am totally happy for you. But I think it wouldn't really be up to Nintendo at this point. It would be up to the Pokemon Company, which they kind of do things on their own. Nintendo just publishes the stuff. So who knows? Maybe there's someone there at the Pokemon Company that's dying to do Poke Park 2 or 3. I mean, we got how many Pokemon Rumbles? So anything, I guess, is possible.
That's true. That's true. So the next thing they announced was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is going to be coming to the Switch this summer. So another release that's going to be here before you know it. And it's an action-adventure game that kind of seems to bend the rules of the traditional 2D side-scroller a little bit. Barry, are you excited about this one?
I'm a backer. I've been a backer of Bloodstained since the beginning. I love the Castlevania series.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I'm a backer that had the Wii U version backed, which obviously switched over to Switch. I have everything. I think I have the PS4, Xbox One, and Vita versions backed as well for that game. Like, I'm really, really into Castlevania and the Metroidvania, and from the very beginning, Bloodstained, it had me hooked. And they did the 8-bit one, which we did a game chat on, and I got that for free not free, I paid for it as a backer. Played through that. That was a lot of fun. If you haven't played that, I think you should. But yeah, this looks exciting. This looks amazing. I can't wait for this to come out. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for them to just say, here's your Kickstarter stuff coming out.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah. The 8-bit one looks really cool too. I was that kind of when you guys did the game chat about that several months ago was something that was not on my radar at all, but definitely was interesting after I heard you guys talk about that. So if you guys that are watching and listening haven't seen that game chat, be sure to go back in our archives and find that and watch it as well. Greg, are you excited about Bloodstained?
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was gonna be pretty cool. I mean, I do like the classic Castlevania games. Haven't really played any of the modern ones because I haven't really been on Nintendo consoles outside of the 3DS. But yeah, I do like the Metroidvania games, the action adventure genre. So it seems like it's right up my alley, and was probably looking into it this summer if I can squeeze it in between Mario Maker and another game that we'll be talking about in a little while.
You'll never squeeze anything in there with Mario Maker 2. That's it. You're done after that.
That's right. Better go ahead and finish all the other stuff first.
Last game for the Switch will be Mario Maker. Swan song.
Pretty much, at least in Greg's house. That's how I was going to go. Yeah. I'm excited about it as well. I wasn't until I saw some of this footage. I mean, it was one of those things I knew existed, but the more I've seen about it, especially in the direct, it's something that I love how that. I like the action adventure stuff, but I like how they're going to be changing some things up. And I'm always a sucker for a good 2D side scroller, so it'd be really exciting for sure. So moving on, they turn their attention to Dragon Quest. And so we received some updates along the Dragon Quest lines. First of all, we found out that Dragon Quest Builders 2 is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch in July, July 12th to be specific. And then they also announced that Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition will also be coming to the Switch in 2019. So I don't know if I'm ever going to remember the entire name of that game, but are you guys excited about these Dragon Quest announcements, both Builders and 11 and the rest of that name? Greg, are you a Dragon Quest fan?
I am. I really love the Dragon Warrior games on the NES, and I did have to take a break for a while because they left the Nintendo platform. But then I rejoined in with 9 on the DS, and then they've since released 5, 6, and 7 and 8 on the 3DS and DS. So I was able to catch up on those and really enjoyed them. So I'm looking forward to 11 very much so. The Builders one, I'm less certain on. I might want to play a demo on it. I don't know how quite that's going to work out. I mean, I'm not huge into Minecraft, despite it kind of being like a builder game like Mario Maker, but I don't know. I'll have to see closer to when that one comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been into Dragon Quest. I know a lot of people do. I admire it from afar and know it's a great game, great series. But I never got into it. I was more into the Final Fantasy stuff, and at least in the beginning, and kind of eventually fell away from that as well. But these look great, but I'm not into it myself. Greg, or sorry, Barry, are you going to be definitely? I mean, I know you're getting these, but are you excited about them?
Yeah, I'm a big Dragon Quest fan too, since the beginning on the NES. But I will definitely be getting 11. I got on PS4, and I was gonna play it on PS4, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me wait and see what they do for Switch. And especially when they announced that one of the biggest features of the 3DS version in Japan was the 16-bit version of Dragon Quest 11, and that wasn't coming here. And I was like, oh man! So seeing that in the Switch version is just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I've heard good things about 11. I can't wait to play it. As for Builders 2, I didn't play Builders. I heard, again, good things. I heard it's like a sequel to the first one, which is awesome. But I've never been into big into Minecraft, and it's one of those that I'm sure I could get into it. And if I get into it, that's going to take all my attention. And it's really hard to devote time into a big game when you play an active MMO, which I do. So because of that, it has to be really special to capture my attention. Like Xenoblade, that took me away. Mario Maker is gonna take me away. Breath of the Wild took me away. Stuff like that. Kingdom Hearts 3 did not take me away. Like that didn't do it. Even Etrian Odyssey Nexus hasn't done it. So I'm not even gonna attempt this one. I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna support the series, but I probably won't have the time anytime soon, especially with Shadowbringers dropping very, very soon.
Yeah, I actually forgot. I knew that one of the games that was shown off had that switch to be able to go to the 16-bit version. I forgot that was this game. So that's so cool that it has that. And I'll probably watch some playthroughs and everything, but I don't think I'll be picking it up myself, just because, again, it is some huge games, and I don't know if I'll actually. I don't have time to beat Torna yet, so let alone a full game like Dragon Quest 11. One game I might have enough time to beat, but I'm probably not going to, is Disney Tsum Tsum Festival. Are either of you guys? I know, Greg, you're a big Disney fan. Are you excited about this, or are you gonna let this pass?
This one might be one of those ones I'd have to let pass unless my daughter is interested in it. I mean, we have a lot of the little stuff like Tsum Tsum doll things, but I don't know if it's enough interest to actually get the entire game based around those things. So
yeah. Jake's saying, "Get back to Torna." Okay, I'll see you guys later. You guys can keep talking. I'm gonna go play Torna.
We can handle it. Bye bye. Go play Torna.
Barry, any thoughts towards Zoom Zoom Festival?
I mentioned earlier it's one of those that I have no interest in, although it's physical as far as I know. So I will be purchasing this game.
It's got to be far. I mean, it's probably far from the worst game that you've ever bought physical. Just because you had to, though.
I do have Troll and I've got My Writing Stables, so I do have some pretty terrible games.
One of the games that I know we really enjoy around NintendoFuse is Starlink Battle for Atlas, and even though it seems like the sales of that game kind of not been where they need to be, and it's been on sale like crazy in a lot of different stores and everything, they're still supporting it because we're going to get an update specifically for the Switch version this April, and we're going to have some more Star Fox related content, and we're going to be able to control three more of the characters from Star Fox. So Peppy, Falco, and Slippy will now be pilots that you can control, and they're going to have some additional content and courses around that. Barry, you excited about this? I'm guessing you probably are.
Oh yeah, I finished Starlink. I know they did an update where they added new ships, but new enemies to attack, and I didn't go back to it because it's I already finished. I already went through everything. Do I really want to go back just to fight more enemies? I did the whole game fighting enemies, so I didn't. This is going to pull me back because it's new Star Fox missions. They also showed some other new updates, which are probably going to all versions. Like there's a racing mode, and maybe this is our Star Fox Grand Prix. Maybe this is coming on the before Star Fox Grand Prix official announcement in E3 or something. But I hope they let us get little Falco and Peppy and Slippy figures because I want them. Like I want them to go with the rest of them. I think that'd be awesome. But no, I'm excited. I think this points to a really strong relationship between Ubisoft and Nintendo continuing, and B, maybe if there's a Starlink 2, it'll be a Switch exclusive with Star Fox, and they'll just incorporate Star Fox into it, because I know it's not selling well on the other systems. It's selling better on Switch, and the fact that they're doing this update and they're adding all this Star Fox content is like doubling down. It's like we know where our audience is, we're doubling down on it. So that's my guess.
Yeah. Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't play Starlink yet? Is that right?
No, I didn't end up getting it yet. But
is this good enough to convince you?
It's certainly making me want to go there. I've seen like the Star Fox figures at the Target the other day when I was looking for Amiibo, but still haven't. I know I still haven't bought the.
It's so worth it.
Didn't bite the bullet on it yet.
I don't even feel like slighted the fact that you can get it for like 25 now and I paid 80 for it. Like I don't feel slighted. I felt that even buying all the figures, I got my money's worth in that game. I loved it. So I don't feel slighted, and I think you should enjoy it. Watch our game chat. There you go. But yeah, you should really
homework assignment.
Well, yeah. You could think about it as a homework assignment. Support the game because it's awesome and you get Star Fox content.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I love just I love the additional courses. I love that they keep updating things, but I think I'm mostly excited to be able to play as Peppy. So all right, so moving on past that, they didn't next talk about Rune Factory 4 Special Edition is going to be coming to exclusively to the Switch later this year, and they also announced that Rune Factory 5 is officially in development, but really didn't say anything beyond that, but it is officially in development, so we have confirmation about that. I have never actually played a Rune Factory game, so I have not much to say about this. Barry, you get any thoughts about Rune Factory?
Yeah, this is a huge announcement, and every time I watch people's reaction videos, it saddens me so much when I see them not getting excited for this. And like a lot of people, this looks like a mobile game. Well, it's a 3DS game first off, that's being ported. So yeah, it kind of is like a mobile game, but a lot of people don't realize that the studio behind the Rune Factory series, I think, closed down, and Rune Factory 4 was the last one, and I don't even think it even came out in Europe. I think it was canceled for Europe because the studio closed. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. But I believe it did not come out there, and the fact that we're getting Rune Factory 5 is literally reviving a dead series and a really good series, and bringing 4. 4 was the best of them, and if you notice, 4 came out early in the 3DS life cycle. 5 would have been another 3DS game, but getting 4 with added content on the Switch is fantastic. If you like Harvest Moon and you like Zelda, you would like this game. It's really good, and I'm excited to see what 5 does, because 4 does look like a mobile game because it's a 3DS game. I'm wondering if 5 is going to keep that style, or if we're going to see a transition to something a little more powerful, a little more 3D, or kind of like how Harvest Moon jumped to 3D. If we're going to see something like that.
That's really cool. Yeah, I had no idea about all that stuff. So, Greg, are you a Rune Factory fan at all?
No, I've never played it. I do remember getting close to purchasing 4 on the 3DS, but I never had bought the bullet on that either. So it was at a point where I was looking for some new games to play, and I saw that was highly recommended from some people and stuff. But I mean, I've never played Harvest Moon, but I've heard it's kind of almost like Animal Crossing, which I've never played and never really had a lot interested in. So I wasn't quite sure if that game would be up my alley, though. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give 5 a chance, or definitely as a demo, that would definitely be able to convince me to purchase it if it's any good.
I stand corrected, by the way. I just looked it up. It did actually come out in Europe. I don't know if it was physical, but to give you perspectives, Japan, it came out July 19th, 2012. North America came out October 1st, 2013, so a year later. PAL came out December 11th, 2014, so another year later. So, definitely troubled development there.
Wow. I had no idea all that stuff happened. Well, moving on, as we've talked about so far, there's been some new IP, several new IPs, and one of those came from a little company called Square Enix, and apparently they're bringing a brand new RPG called I'm going to butcher this name because I can't remember how it's pronounced, but Onikaki Onikaki, is that right? And basically this has you rescuing and powering up from some lost souls that you're going to go around finding and collecting. And it's going to be available later this summer. A lot more going into this game. I urge you guys, this is one of those that it's hard to really describe, at least for me, in simplicity. But that's the simplest way I can describe it. But there's so much more to this game. Greg, are you excited about Onikaki?
I was just trying to get a quick refresher to see like the gameplay footage or if they had showed anything, but just basing it off of it being like an RPG and it's from Square, it sounds like it'd be up my alley because I do like this really older Final Fantasy games. I've liked like the Brave series that they've done on 3DS, and I also like the Octopath Traveler on Switch. So it does seem like kind of interesting. I just probably need to look into it a little bit more and see what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it looks really exciting. I think it's really cool how you go into this mechanic of rescuing them, but also powering up from them. It's not a completely original idea, but it's I think fresh enough that if I have the time for it, this might be one of the RPGs that I get sucked into, just from what they showed off there. But it all depends, like what I'm doing later this summer when it finally launches. If I'll have the time for that, I might be just playing Super Mario Maker 2 levels from Greg all the time. I don't know. We'll see. Barry, what do you think about this one?
Well, first off, Greg, this is from Tokyo RPG Factory. So this is the I Am Setsuna Lost Sphere team, not the Bravely team, which did Octopath. So it is a little different. This, outside of another announcement that came later in the trailer, was actually my biggest game from this, my biggest takeaway. Like, outside of one other announcement, like if I could choose only 2 games to come out, like this would actually top Mario Maker 2 and some other games. Like, I didn't know about this game coming out. I saw this. I love their other games, and just watching it just has me excited. Like, I'm going to be doing this in the summer. Like, this is one of those games that just something about it. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to be playing this game. It just looks fantastic. The style looks great. I love action RPGs. I love the fact that you rescue people and then they use the spirits to different weapons. So it's different weapon combats, everything about it. And then if you fail to rescue them, they turn into like a monster and you got to fight. Like, it's just so cool looking that it has my attention right away. I am so for it. Like, it's almost to the point that if this is digital only, which I'm praying it's not, I might even pick it up. Lost Sphere came out physically here, Square Enix exclusive, and I Am Setsuna had to be imported, but I'm praying that they put this, even Square Enix exclusive again. Like, I don't care, do it, make this happen. I need this game in my life. It looks so good.
Yeah, Jakester's telling me not to touch another RPG until I finish Torna. I hope I finish Torna by late summer. I really hope I agree. I finish it by late summer.
Well, after you finish it, then you have to go to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 proper.
Oh gosh, then I might not be able to play this one. No, it's going to take me the rest of the year. Oh man. So we also got a good look at Yoshi's Crafted World. That's going to be it's right around the corner. And you can also get a free demo of the game as well. So that's pretty cool. Any thoughts about this game? We've talked about this before. Any further thoughts about what's been shown off? Or are you guys just ready to finally get your hands on it, Greg?
I've pretty much been sold on it since they announced it back in 2017. So I haven't had a chance to download the demo yet. I really wanted to do that soon. I've been keep hearing about people playing it, and I was like, oh, I gotta remember to download it. So maybe tonight that's what I'll go fire up the Switch and download the demo and take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I forgot to download it, so I need to do that as well. Barry, what do you think?
I'm sold on it already, and I did not download the demo, nor am I going to. I've already sold on it. The game comes out next month, so playing a demo now, unless it carried over, I don't see a point. I'm perfectly fine just waiting.
Sounds good. Yeah, I do have it pre-ordered as well, but I think I'll go ahead and download it. It's always kind of nice to play a little bit ahead of time. It'd be cool if it does crossover, but my guess is it probably doesn't. All right, and next I think is another game that Greg's pretty excited about. We got some Fire Emblem Three Houses information, and unfortunately, to Greg's dismay, the game has been pushed back a little bit. It's now going to release on July 26th. I guess they needed a little extra time to kind of finish the development, put some finishing touches and polish it a little more. But they did share a little more about the story. Apparently, it takes place on this continent of Fodlan. If I'm probably mispronouncing that as well, Fodlan, something like that. And it's going to be 3 different territories that are there, and you're going to be time spent within the monastery there. And I think you're going to be leading one of 3 different teams there based on each of the different territories. So the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, the Golden Deer. Greg, did this help you get more excited about this game? And are you disappointed that they had to push it back a little bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever they do a delay, it's obviously going to lead to a disappointment, but it's always, that they're polishing up. They're putting on that extra round to make sure it's a better game for it. So, yes, it's kind of stinks that they did it, but it'll definitely be a better game nonetheless that they took more time for it. So, still definitely looking forward to it. Don't like that to be cutting into my Mario Maker 2 time, but yeah, I was nice to learn a little bit more about the story because they've kind of like not really shown a whole lot of gameplay when they announced it originally. So it definitely is looking pretty good, and I really need some more, quite a little bit more information just to enjoy it a little bit more because it's like it's been so tiny and little bits and pieces of it here and there, and it's like you don't lead like a teacher and get to train people, and that's really about all we really know about it. So
yeah, I was actually interested because as I was watching the direct and they were sharing the information, I thought like they're like, oh, these 3 territories. I was like, oh, they're gonna be feuding and fighting, and they're like, and they get along peacefully, and it's a happy place. I'm like, oh, well, that was unexpected. Okay, where's the conflict going to happen? And all of a sudden, it's like, I guess in this as you lead these teams within the monastery. But I think, I mean, I'm not really into the series at all. But it would, even if I was kind of on the fence, I think I need a little more information as well to know if this was going to be one of the games that finally got me into the Fire Emblem series. I need a little bit more information about what's really going to draw me in and make me want to play this game. Barry, is this enough for you? Are you excited already, or do you need more information too?
Well, I already have the collector's edition pre-ordered. Whether or not I play it right away or not, it all depends on when Onikaki comes out and what else they announced for the summer. It's one of those, I plan to play it. That doesn't necessarily mean I'll play it this year, but I am excited for it. I enjoy the Fire Emblem games. I just know they are time sinks, and they are, because they're strategy RPGs. That is my least favorite of the RPG series. Turn-based and action, and those are my jam. So I will be playing it sometime, hopefully this year, depending on whatever else, anything else comes out. If not, there's a drought next year. I'll be like, oh, okay, now I'll go play Fire Emblem.
Yeah, it's true. I guess it's one of those games that could, you could come back to later for sure. So the next thing they announced kind of came out of left field. I don't think anybody was really expecting this at all. I didn't really read any rumors or anything ahead of time, but I'm guessing this totally shocked everybody. The battle royale kind of idea about games is really popular nowadays. You get your Fortnite and you got your PUBG and you got these other games that are really trying to compete with that, and Call of Duty and all the other ones are trying to include your battle royale kind of modes as well to kind of play off this big thing. And so the Tetris company decided they'd throw their hat in the ring with battle royale of all things. And so we now have a free version of Tetris on the Nintendo Switch. So if you have a Nintendo Online subscription, you can play this game online only. You can't play Tetris like by yourself at all. You have to have the online subscription, but you can download it for free, and it basically pits you up against 99 other players, and you're just battling it out to see who comes out on top at the end. And so multiplayer has been an aspect of Tetris from the very beginning, but it was usually, from in the beginning days, like a game link, cable for between two Game Boys, kind of expanded over the years, but 100 people or 99 different people playing against each other. That totally came out of left field. We've done a game chat about that. We have that'll be coming out pretty soon. We've got a review on our site already if you haven't checked that out. But let's quickly talk about Tetris 99. Barry, are you like I haven't listened to your game chat. We're still editing it, so I don't know all your thoughts yet. But this like totally like smack you in the face like it did me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I downloaded it. I played through it. I haven't played as much as I want to. In fact, it's one of those rare games that my wife has actually played more of than I have, which is great because when I downloaded it, she was like, I don't really, want to do like the anxiety, because there is anxiety of it. And I was like, it's cool. I played a couple rounds. And then I went over to one of the next things that they announced. And while I'm doing that, all of a sudden I heard Tetris music. I looked over and she's sitting there playing it. I'm like, oh, okay, so you downloaded it too. And she's played a lot of matches. And like, there's a lot of strategy to it, but they really throw you right into the fire. Like, there's no instructions. And not, playing Tetris is one thing, but there's a lot of like strategy about targeting different people and taking out people for the battle royale, and they don't really tell you about any of it, so it's like, okay, I got to try to figure it out. But it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean, what's to say, if you have Nintendo Switch Online and you have even the most minute interest in Tetris, I mean, you should download it. And for more of my thoughts, as well as some of our other colleagues who are not part of the podcast, please, watch our game chat when it goes live, because you get more of an insight.
For sure. Yeah, my wife was also. I was sitting there playing it for a couple rounds, and she's like, "Can I try?" And I. This is a side note. I'll tell this all together, but I realized in that moment that using her account on my Switch, she can't access my Nintendo Online, and it's not really easy to switch to a family account. You have to actually contact Nintendo, file a support request, and have them switch it over. But in order to do that, you also got to get your serial number from your Switch. It's a pain in the butt to do that. So finally, I just like, you just play on my account. I don't care.
Wow.
So I'm
surprised you didn't do a family account from the get-go.
Well, she doesn't have her own Switch, and she really doesn't play very often at all. And so, and it's not a whole lot more than an individual account, but I really didn't see the point. But if games like this and more games comes out that she wants to play, I may end up switching over. But for now, she really just plays multiplayer with me on a lot of stuff, and so there wasn't really a reason to spend the extra $15 for family from the start. So, Greg, what do you think? Have you downloaded yet?
No, that was the other title I need to download with the Yoshi demo. But yeah, I definitely have played a lot of previous Tetris games. One of my favorites has always been the Tetris DS, so it is kind of exciting to be able to play against other players. So I'm probably just kind of don't want to download it and just be creaming everybody and get number one all the time. So
that's why you're not okay.
I
Yeah.
think you'd be surprised, Greg.
I'm
It's
sure
actually it really is surprising. Like there and I found like every round is completely different. Like one round I'll be like killing it, and the other round I'm having a great time like getting all these lines, and I'll just be dead in like 5 seconds. Like I feel like it's just everybody teams up on you and you're done. So like you got to really pay attention to a lot of stuff, a lot more than just like what the next block is and what your plan is and everything. You also got to pay attention to what other people are doing and make sure you're targeting correctly. And it's a lot to focus on all at the same time for sure. But definitely fun and definitely worth it. Especially it's free. So if you have Nintendo Online, go ahead and download it. All right. So this next game is interesting to me. I know, Barry, you said that you weren't too excited about this, but I think it's an interesting concept. They announced Dead by Daylight is going to be coming out for Switch this fall, and it's a survival game that allows you to play either the victims or the killer. And those kind of games are always interesting to me. I've never played many of them, but they've always like they've intrigued me a lot because I think it's cool to kind of to play around with it. To me, it doesn't look the greatest. The graphics kind of look so, but I think I enjoy the concept. So Barry, any further thoughts? I know you weren't excited about this, but any further thoughts?
Yeah. This was a game when it was first announced. I thought, again, the concept is really cool. I did not get it on other systems, and if it's physical, I'll be getting it on the Switch. But as far as I know, it might only be digital. It might also be online only, which kind of sucks. I hate online only stuff. But one of the things. This is another point when like I watched other people's reactions. There's a lot of groans, not because it's the game, but like because the frame rate. Like there are parts where like you see like the characters walking and it. Yeah, I didn't pick up on it the first time I watched it, but like watching their reactions, I'm like, oh shoot, it is pretty bad. So hopefully they do get it running smoothly on the Switch. I think it's great. It's another mature title. I think mature titles on Nintendo consoles are always a rare breed, so it's nice to get another one. I'm not a horror movie fan. I'm not a horror genre fan, so it's not for me at all. But I know there are some people out there that absolutely love that, and that's their favorite genre, and this excites them. And for them, I'm extremely happy for them. And I hope it plays well. I hope it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun if that's your cup of tea.
Yeah. I was actually surprised that they would show off a game that didn't look like. I mean, I hope they're still finalizing things. I mean, they got till fall, so I hope they're still working on it. But it was surprising that they showed it off and like because it did look like it still needs some work for sure. Greg, are you a survival game fan? Are you gonna be picking this one up?
No, I'm not really much into that. I never really got into like Resident Evil and other games that are kind of similar to it and that same thing. But it does sound pretty interesting. You can play both like the killer and like the victim, so it's almost like it kind of almost reminds me of Zombie U, even though it's completely different than that. But it's kind of like where you can pick both sides of it and see which way you want to go with it. So
yeah. And then they moved on to another game that I really don't understand. And it's from the guy who made Undertale. So a lot of people love Undertale. And apparently he's making this game called Deltarune. And Chapter 1 is going to be available for free on the Switch at the end of February. And I think it has to do with a lot of dogs, but I'm not really sure. And I really don't know. Please enlighten me because I was really just confused by this little trailer. Greg, any details that can help me out on this?
Well, I never got around to getting Undertale on Switch, even though I've been really interested in it. But I have been this is the one of the titles that I was going to be talking about. What I was going to be picking up in the upcoming game section because this free can't beat the price, and definitely would kind of want to see what this is all about. And hearing all the praise that Undertale got, I would definitely be willing to check out his next kind of series. I don't know if I like the subscription type model to pick up extra content for it or extend it, but I guess I'll have to see how much I enjoy the chapter 1. So
Yeah, Barry, can you help me out here? Like, any reason why I should get this game other than the fact it's free?
Yeah, I knew there was a big hype around Undertale, and I just recently finished Undertale. At least one playthrough of it. I'll still have to go back at one point. But from what I gather, I haven't really looked into this because, again, I just did Undertale. Is that this is the next game and it's PC only, and it's apparently going to take years for this thing to come out. So because it's going to take years for this to come out, he's like, all right, here I'm doing it, in chapter format, and chapter 1 PC only. So Switch is actually the first console, to my knowledge, to get this. And I don't know if there are things that are announced at the direct, like Onikani, or it was like, oh, here it is for Switch. Well, it's also coming to PS4. They just don't tell you. And all companies do this at E3. Tales of Vesperia was shown off at Microsoft's booth, but it also came to Switch and PS4. So I don't know if this is coming to PS4 and Xbox One as well, or just to Switch. But it's really big that they got it onto console. It's very, how do I put this? It's an acquired taste. Like Undertale is an acquired taste. There's a lot of charm to it. There's a lot of quirkiness to it. There's a lot of personality, and it's one of those cult games. It definitely has cult status. So, is it worth trying? Absolutely. Will I be doing it? Probably not, because I have no idea when Chapter 2 is going to drop. But if you're even remotely interested, I would try it, and if you like it, maybe then pick up Undertale.
There you go. There you go. Well, another game that we are I know at least Barry and I are looking forward to. I can't remember what your thoughts about this game are Greg, so I apologize. But Daemon X Machina is set to come out later this summer, and they decided to launch a free game demo of the game, and also kind of ask for our responses about the demo and everything. I think I don't know if everybody gets a survey to take and everything, but I know some people are going to kind of get some feedback for the developers as they continue to fine tune the game. Greg, are you excited about this? Am I remembering incorrectly, or you actually are excited?
no, this was one of my more sleeper ones, I think, because I'm not really into all the mech kind of stuff. So it didn't really interest me from what I had seen so far. But obviously, given like a free demo, there's always no harm in trying it out and trying to see if it is something that I was completely mistaken on. So
yeah.
So I will say off the bat, it doesn't really have a lot of interest, but I know if it is a bigger game and if it's gonna have a demo, and maybe I might be completely surprised by it. So
yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. Barry, I know you played it because you guys did game chat on it. So what's your thoughts so far? Kind of brief thoughts, because I know the game chat's coming.
Yeah, I definitely think you should download it, Greg. I mean, you might try it out, especially now because you may be able to voice your opinions. I know Mike on our team, who also did the game chat with me, he actually got the survey. I did not, unfortunately, but it's one of those. It's awesome. That's all I'll say. Like right now, it's awesome. But it does have some quirks. It's not perfect. There's an interesting loot system where, when you beat enemies, other mechs, not just any regular enemies, you can then loot them of one piece. Either an armor piece or a weapon or like auxiliary chips and stuff like that. And it tells you like, oh, this is a new piece, which is cool. And you get to pick, but you can only pick one. And it does give a like role-playing game style randomize to it. So like there's only 4 missions. I did like the first 3, and then I watched someone's video and they were using a sword killing things. I'm like, where'd you get the sword? And like, oh yeah, it was a drop from like an enemy in chapter 2. I was like, oh, okay. So I went back to mission 2 and it took me like 4 tries, and then suddenly I killed an enemy and boom, there's the sword. I'm like, all right. And meanwhile, I got like 2 bazookas, and I'm like dual wielding bazookas and stuff, which were totally different. And there's different armors. Like there's some armors that are like really fast, but you have a lot less health, and others where you have a ridiculous amount of health, but you feel like you're walking through molasses. So it's really interesting, and the game doesn't tell you this. Honestly, the game, it tells you like to loot enemies, but it doesn't tell you about these randomized factors about all this. So I was like, okay, cool. Then there's also, you can use money to upgrade like your character, like the pilot, make them like have a double jump or have a blade. You can jump out of the mech, although I don't know what you really can do out of the mech. I like there's nothing really in the demo for that. But we do get into it more. But since the demo, I have completed it. I did do the 4th mission, and the 4th one is against this giant boss. And I say it needs work because the sword, like I was using like this really heavy armor, so I'm walking through molasses. But the sword, when you use it, it like launches you forward. So I'm like, oh, at least I have some mobility with it. But like when you're trying to attack a target right in front of you and you use the sword, you like sometimes go right through it. And like now you're like under the enemy and the camera's like going all shaky, and it's like, no, I just wanted to sit there and like, fight this thing with the sword. I've got a sword. Why do I have to lunge? So like that would be like one of my complaints, and it's so minor, and it's definitely early and things can change. But yeah, is this worth playing? Absolutely. I think it's definitely worth trying. Even if you're not interested in it, I would give it a shot. If you're remotely interested in it, definitely give it a shot. And if you're already sold on it, then you have nothing to lose. There's also some cool little things you can customize your ship or your mech, and there's there's graffiti around that you can scan, which again, they don't tell you this. You could scan it and get new designs and decals for your mech if you want, all cosmetic. But there's quite a bit to this demo, and again, like Tetris 99, they don't do a lot of hand holding. And I kind of wish they did. Like this game is deep. There's like stat modifiers and everything. It is an RPG. It's like an action RPG, more so than I thought.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to trying out the demo. Like I said, I haven't tried it yet, but going to Jakester said he had a hard time with the 4th mission, but he did enjoy the mission.
Yeah, the fourth mission,
sure.
like if you just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, you're probably gonna die on 4. I had to farm 2 and 3 quite a bit to get better gear, and then go for 4. And the game doesn't tell you that. So if you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, die in the 4th, and go, all right, this game sucks, like you're gonna miss out. Like you have to treat it like an RPG. You have to grind a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they moved on to talk about Grid Autosport. So it's bringing a new another racing game. There's not a whole lot on the Switch, and in fact, the ones that are out, other than Mario Kart, I've not really been a huge fan of the racing games that are out on the Switch. But Grid Autosport looks really solid. And all the previously released DLC from the other versions of the game on other consoles is coming, along with local and online multiplayer. Barry, are you excited about Grid coming to the Switch?
I'm excited for those that love realistic racing. I'm more of an arcade racer, so I don't know if I'll actually play it. My wife loves realistic racing games, so I'll probably get it for her. But if that's your jam, then more power to you. It's probably not going to get much attention, especially with all these great RPGs. That they're going to take my time.
That's true. It's coming out this summer. Do you think they're going to update with the Labo?
Probably.
Probably. Greg, are you a Grid Autosport fan?
No, I've never really been much into the realistic driving games. Mostly Mario Kart's been my jam, and so that's usually my prime way of racing.
Nice. So it's a little different than the Grid kind of style,
yeah,
but
just a little bit.
just a little bit. No turtle shells in there, but
yeah, many less shells and no bananas. And
now, Steve, you said there's no other racing game on the Switch really interested you. I'm really surprised you're not a big Hello Kitty Cruisers fan.
Well, I'll wait till I come to visit you. Right? Did that come out on physical? Did you actually have to get that one?
Yes, I did. I had to buy that twice.
Oh, twice, man. So you're clearly the bigger fan. So
clearly,
yeah, to buy it twice.
Yeah, Wii U and Switch.
Yeah, I still need to do my my review of the other. I'm blanking on the name now, but the other the sequel to the racing game that came out. anyhow, but I wasn't a huge fan. We still got to do the review on that. It comes soon. Hopefully, I'll remember the name of it by then too. But yeah, I wasn't too much of a realistic racing fan until I played some more of the newer ones, mostly on Xbox, because that's there hasn't really been anything on the Nintendo systems, and I'm kind of getting into it. Like I like Forza 7. And I do enjoy arcade racers, I think, more, but I'm starting to get into the realistic stuff a little more. So I may end up picking this one up.
I'm surprised you don't like Grip or Mantis.
See, I Grip was okay. I don't think that it didn't really grab me like I thought it would. I haven't tried Mantis yet. So, but Grip was just an okay game, I think. So, moving on, let's see here. They pretty much flew through a bunch of different titles. So I'm just gonna announce, just talk about all these real quick, and we can kind of jump into the ones that really stand out to us. Most of them are games that we knew about already. We basically just get confirmation from the release dates and a little bit of footage of each of these, and then we'll kind of save the last couple announcements till after this. But first of all, we learned a little bit about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which is coming this spring, so not too far away. Mortal Kombat 11 is coming on April 23rd, 2019. Unravel 2 is coming on March 22nd of this year. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered is coming to the Nintendo Switch on May 21st. Final Fantasy 7 is finally coming on March 26th. Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Everybody is hitting the Switch on March 20th. And Final Fantasy 9 was available that day on the Nintendo Switch on February 13th. So of all of those, Greg, are there any that stand out to you that you're really excited about?
Yeah, most definitely the Final Fantasy 7 and quite possibly 9. I know 9's already available, but I didn't go through to look into purchasing it yet.
The fact that you said quite possibly there just like broke my heart. I'm just not gonna lie.
Well,
9 is such a better game.
Well, I know there's a lot of hype around 7.
That's like saying that cookie over there looks good. I might go for the chocolate cake, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just have the cookie. Like, no, eat the chocolate cake.
I'd go for the cake. Or I'd go for the cookie over the cake, but
coming from someone whose last Final Fantasy game was 6, it's kind of hard to know anything between 7 and 9 and 14 and 22 and 85 and all the
6 is the best. You're already at the pinnacle.
85.
All downhill from here.
So I know there's tons of hype around 7. I don't remember hearing like much of anything around 9. So if 9 is the better game, then maybe that'd be the one to go purchase then. So yeah, it is nice to see that Assassin's Creed is coming back to Switch, but I didn't really like it on Wii U, so that was probably a pass for me. I'm just glad to see it trying again. Mortal Kombat is also definitely kind of interesting. I haven't played that since, I don't know, like the N64 maybe GameCube. I don't remember, but it'll be definitely pretty nice to see Mortal Kombat on Switch as well. I think there was like a Wii or Wii U game, but I don't think I got it.
Wii. Yeah. Armageddon was the last. Yeah. For the Switch, that is.
Yeah,
or for the Nintendo systems, I mean.
Yeah, I think the last one I had played, I think, was either 64 or GameCube. So certainly been a while since I've played this series.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry, I know you're a huge Final Fantasy fan. You played these already, so is it enough to play them again on Switch, or any of the rest of the games?
I will not, because I've already played them, and there's too many other things. And if they were physical, I would be buying them in a heartbeat. Digital only means I won't. However, that's me, and if you haven't played them, I do suggest you do. But yeah, there's a lot of hype around 7 because for many it was their very first RPG, and there wasn't a lot of hype around 9 because 9 came out along with the PlayStation 2, So that took a lot of the hype out. 9 is a call to classics. So if you last played the Super Nintendo ones, 9 is your jam. Like 9 is like 7 was very much distance away. There was like motorcycles and like stuff like that. 8 got into like way more realistic, like realism. There's cars and it's hyper realistic graphics kind of deal, and it was not fantasy. Like it felt more like a real world RPG. And then 9 was like, nope, we're going back to basics. So yeah, it's 9 is definitely worth it. Chocobo Dungeon. I never played that one. I think that's a remake of the Wii one, which I do have. Again, I think it's Japan only physical with English, so I'll be importing it. Mortal Kombat 11, I'm super excited about because and it's like one of the few fighting games that I enjoy playing for the story. I'm not a big competitive, but I really enjoyed what they did with Mortal Kombat 9 story. They kind of like rebooted it, and then that continued into Mortal Kombat 10. So I'm assuming it's going to continue in 11. So I'll be getting it for the story, which is the weirdest thing to say for a fighting game, but that's me. I'm not your typical person when it comes to fighting games. Hellblade, I've heard good things about. I have it on PS4. I might play that one because from what I hear, like if you're not going to play it portably, and you're just going to play docked, you might as well play it on the PS4 kind of deal. But I've heard again good things, and I think it's a big win for Nintendo to get it. Not only because they're getting it, but that's also a Microsoft game now because it's put out by Ninja Theory. Microsoft owns Ninja Theory, so the fact that it's even coming at all shows Microsoft is more willing to work with Nintendo, which is awesome. And
that's why we're getting Xbox Live on Switch.
Yeah. See, it's all part of it. Unravel 2 is one of those games that when I saw it at E3, I'm like, this needs to be on Switch. We talked about that in our E3 coverage. So I'm glad it's there. I'm kind of upset that Unravel 1 isn't coming too. Like, there is a box, even a physical of Unravel 1 and 2 for the PS4. Europe only, sadly. But, like, there's no reason they can't bring Unravel 1 as well. Like, they should just both come as a double pack, I think, at this point. It's always hard to just jump into the sequel. But yeah, I think it's a good list of games. Assassin's Creed is the last one. I played Assassin's Creed 3. I don't remember if I played it. I think I played it on 360. I didn't think it was a bad game, but I definitely think that the version they were showing was running really poorly. Like the frame rate was really stuttering. So, and I know that it is getting remastered on all 3 systems. Again, another example of here it is on Switch, but it's also coming elsewhere. Mm-hmm. I'll be getting it because I'm getting all the physical. If you haven't played an Assassin's Creed game, it's worth a look. Some people think it's the worst. I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not really my cup of tea.
Yeah. I enjoyed Assassin's Creed 3 a little bit on the Wii U, but it didn't grab me enough to keep playing through. I do like that it's remastered and they're including the other version and stuff like that in there, but it's probably not good enough to get me, especially because I did think it didn't hold up. It didn't look as good as the other systems, and so yeah, I probably won't end up getting it as well. Same with Hellblade. I don't think that'd be exciting for me. I'm more of a Street Fighter fan than a Mortal Kombat guy, so I'm gonna hold off and hopefully, the next Street Fighter game will finally come to Switch. Probably not gonna happen, but hey, I didn't expect Mortal Kombat 11 to come to Switch either, so we'll see. Unravel 2 is a game that I am excited about. I with you, Barry, I would like for them to bring both. I'm kind of surprised they didn't announce both they're going to come out. Maybe it's an announcement, so it's going to come later. Maybe it's one of those surprise things that we just find out, when it does launch. Oh, look, sneaky announcement. Unravel 1's also available. I don't know. Not hold my breath, but it would be nice to have the first one as well. And from all the Final Fantasy games, I played 7 originally on the PlayStation. And so I've heard from a lot of people. I haven't played it from then a long time ago, and so it's been years since I played it. But I've heard that it doesn't really hold up. It's not one of those games that holds up. So I'm not necessarily excited about downloading it again. But I haven't played 9, and so I think that's one of those that I'm excited to have it. and I may eventually end up downloading it. Jakester's not going to allow me to until I finish Torna. I'm not allowed to touch another RPG, but eventually it'd be nice to play it, and it's cool to have it on handheld. I think that's one of those games that'd be fun to play on handheld as well. And Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, I've never been into or anything, so that it's not really exciting for me, but I know it's exciting for other people. So, all right. So last two announcements, and one is a brand new IP, and one is a remake that I don't think many people saw coming. People were hoping for it, but let's talk about this new IP first, and that's from Platinum Games, who maybe more recently best known for their Bayonetta franchise, and they're bringing a brand new IP called Astral Chain, and this is an action adventure where you take a role of a special police force unit, and you work together with others to help in this futuristic city, and that's about all we know so far. There's a little bit more shown, but that's the basic details. We don't really know how it all works. We don't know how the working with others really works in this special police force unit. But it was interesting enough for me my interest was definitely piqued, and especially coming from Platinum Games. That's a big company that I love what they put out in the past. So it's enough to make me interested. Greg, are you particularly excited about this?
It did look very interesting, so it might be something that I will be following and seeing more about. So I know I know this is pretty silly, but I almost thought it was like Bayonetta that was like kind of showing off like the type of combat style, but definitely seems a lot more to it than that. There's like all these like chain moves and everything, and it definitely looked very intense and intriguing. So it might be something that I'll be following and looking to hopefully that they release a demo for that I could completely sell me on it. So it does look really great and very intense though.
Yeah. I had no idea what I was watching first. I kept thinking, it was like, is there like a time cop thing? Like, what is going on here? And then like Jakester was hoping it was a Wonderful 101 sequel. But Barry, what do you think about this game? Are you intrigued?
Yes, very much so. I love Platinum. I love new IPs from Nintendo. The more this trailer went on, the more I was sold. It's just crazy. It's just crazy fun. And when it first started, like I saw the helicopter, I'm like, is this going to be like flying over a racetrack? Is this going to be that Star Fox Grand Prix? And then I'm like, nope, no, it totally is not. And like, I know some people watching are like, oh, is this Xeno? And I knew like instantly, I'm like, no, this is not Xeno. Like Monolith Soft is not, going to show off something this far along so soon after Torna. Like, no, like it's not happening. So I was like, what is this? What is, and when it finally, appeared to Platinum, I'm like, oh my God, like, yeah, like sold instantly. I love Platinum. In fact, I can't think of a game from Platinum that I really did not like. Like I even liked Anarchy Reigns, which I know a lot of people were like meh on. So yeah, instant buy. So excited. And I love that Nintendo is pulling in new IPs. Like that was one of the biggest criticisms of the Wii era. Like outside of the Wii specific thing is Nintendo doesn't really have any new IPs. It's just Mario. And if you ask people now on the Switch, it's like Nintendo doesn't have any new IPs. It's just Mario. But they do. You're just not looking. And this is clearly another one. So I'm so happy to see this. Yeah, this is a day one for me for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like that was one of the big things that I took from this direct was it seemed like, sure, they didn't have a ton of information about Smash Ultimate updates, and they didn't have any information about Animal Crossing, but they brought some new IP, which is always awesome. They brought some reconfirmations of third-party support that they got in there, and then some new third-party support, both from games that are coming out in other systems to remakes or remasterings of existing games. And it really seemed like a broad stroke there. And I was really excited to see this game, and I'm really interested to find out more. It looks fun. Like you said, Barry, I mean, there's not really anything that Platinum's made that was awful. So like, they're a great company, and this looks interesting enough. And it's still a mystery. There's just not much that they shared, so that intrigues me as well. Like, oh, we got to figure out more, and they'll be sharing more over time. But maybe some of they're still gonna leave as a mystery as we find out as we play the game, which is always fun for sure. All right, well, now we come to the final announcement, which I know some people were hoping that it eventually happen. I was not in that camp. This is actually one of my least favorite Zelda games.
Get out now, Steve.
I know. But The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is coming in a remake to the Nintendo Switch. It's got updated graphics. It's got a little bit slightly different view. It's not a top-down. It's kind of like three-quarters view on it. It's got this cutesy toy-like graphical interface and everything. It looks really cool to me. I know people are kind of back and forth on the graphics and everything, but to me, I think it looks beautiful. And it looks really fun, and I really like, some people are like, shame. Like, I know. Okay, before you guys jump into your thoughts, let me explain why. And I think, and I'll also couple that with the thoughts of why I think I'm going to like this version a lot better. And that's because I think my biggest criticisms is not necessarily the game, but it's the limitations of the Game Boy that made it not fun to play. Because you had to jump back and forth in the menu system to trade out your weapons and items and stuff like that. And along with that, I hate that every time I bumped into a stinking rock, I got a dialogue box. That's annoying. And it ruined the game for me, and I stopped playing it, and I never beat it. But it looks like that this is going to be different. You're going to have a lot more buttons on the Switch. Probably going to be able to switch out items and everything. Already, we know that you can jump while carrying weapons, so that's immediately better. And my guess is they're not going to make you have that dialogue box every time you bump into a rock like you did before without carrying the item that I'm forgetting. Yeah. So if that's all the case, then it may become one of my favorite Zelda games. But as it stands on the Game Boy, it was not. But this version might change my mind. So Barry, how about you start off? Then we'll go to Greg.
Yeah, this is my favorite Zelda of all time. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. This best story, best cast of characters. The ability to mix and match things you couldn't do before, like the bomb arrows, and the ability to jump in 2D was the first time with the Rock's Feather, and just all the cool Mario crossovers and the Kirby crossover, and like it was just so surreal and so cool, and the music, like the flute was in Link to the Past, and the recorder was in the original Zelda. And while this also has the ocarina, this is really where the whole music motif that has been in Zelda games took center stage, finding the instruments of the siren. Like, yeah. Okay, so it got annoying when you saw a text box, but that's not enough to quit a game. And going into menus, did you beat Ocarina of Time? The water temple was way worse than anything you had to do. You very rarely had to get rid of the sword. Only like if you needed to use the Pegasus boots and the Rock Feather or the bomb arrows. Everything else wasn't nearly as bad as you make it seem. But yeah, this game is phenomenal. This game is amazing. It looks amazing. This is the game that I was texting my friend when it appeared. Like, I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, take my money now. Like, all of it now. Like, I just couldn't type fast enough. This is, if you took away everything in the Direct, this is the one thing I would say, keep this, please. So yeah, like I can't wait. If there's a special edition, if there's amiibo, I don't care. I'm buying all the merchandise. Like it's happening.
Nice. So, all right. So you got me on one camp. That's it's one of my least favorite Zelda games. It's Barry's favorite game. Greg, where do you stand on Link's Awakening?
I'm definitely on Team Barry on this. For shame, Steve. Like,
there you go.
I have like memories of like trying to like change out the batteries. Just like, oh my god, I can't save Zelda. The light's gonna blink. It's gonna die. Gotta change the batteries. And like, that game was just like so intense. I mean, it really cemented my favorite like into like Zelda. So like, after having really enjoyed the first two on the NES, and actually I did skip Link to the Past until Wii. It was definitely one of my favorite games because like never really get to see Link jump and kind of stuff like that. So that was all really cool to me. I did enjoy all the weird like Mario references. I wasn't sure if they'd take that out, but then sure enough, you saw the Goombas like fully moving around. So definitely excited to see that they are staying true and leaving all those tie-ins in place. So I am definitely very sold on it. I was very happy with what they did with Samus Returns Game Boy game that returned and remade. So I definitely have very high hopes that they're going to be treating Zelda very well. And Link's Awakening is easily a day one purchase for me. One of my higher on the tier list for my Zelda games. So
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Game Boy limitations were the primary reason that it's not as high on my list. So this might allow me to really fully enjoy and appreciate the game like you guys do. So because all those limitations seem to be washed away, at least they should be. And so I hope to play it as well and beat it, and maybe my appreciation will be as high as what you guys have said so far.
You're dead to me, Steve.
No, I love all those things that you guys talked about. I really do. I think it's a brilliant idea for a game. I love the fact that it does incorporate all these different things and new elements and jumping, well, all that stuff. I loved all of it. It really just, there were certain things about the limitations of the Game Boy just made me just like, and I think here's the deal. I played it later. I did not play it when it first came out. I played it. In fact, I think it was on DS or 3DS. I think was the first time I ever played it. And because I had always played I've talked about this on previous podcasts, but I was never into the handheld versions of Zelda. And that goes from the Game Boy versions to the DS versions and everything. I wasn't never really into the handheld versions, so I never played it until it came back out on the Virtual Console. And by that point, maybe if I had played it when I was younger, that wouldn't have annoyed me. But as a modern thinking gamer now, with all this different modern stuff, those things annoyed me. And so it would have been different maybe when I was younger.
I don't know about you, Greg. I see him moving his mouth, but I don't hear any voice coming out of him. It's just like I need to play Link's Awakening. I need to play Torna. I need to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, that's all I hear out of him now. I think that's all I'm going to hear out of him for at least a while until he takes back such blasphemous comments.
I want to know like where he's getting stuck, where there's like a rock like everywhere he turns around. Like,
yeah, I never encountered that.
Is he like somehow like, between like four rocks? He's like stuck and he couldn't like move, or like that's what I'm like.
Same play when I do Call of Duty. I'm just like stuck in a corner, bouncing against the wall. No, no. There's part. Never mind. So anyhow, I'm going to enjoy the Switch version for sure.
So if you know you can't interact with the rock like once, why are you hitting it a second and a third time?
I'm accidentally running into it. I feel like you just barely touch it. You like turn around and all of a sudden there it is. Like. And maybe it's a limitation actually of the Game Boy. Who knows? Or not the Game Boy, but the 3DS with the analog stick or something. Maybe it just moves faster than it should or something. I don't know. But I felt like I just brush against something and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you can't move it. And it tells me every time. Like, I don't know why it needs to tell me every time. I understand I can't move it because I don't have the thing. But why do you have to tell me every time? Even if I didn't turn around and hit one all the time. Why does that have to tell me every time?
Why didn't Skyward Sword say like, oh, you found this beetle that you found like 18 of? Like it treated like the first time you saw it.
I also agree with that. not disagreeing. So anyhow, I am looking forward to this version because I want to appreciate this game as much as you guys do. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, and it's coming out later this year, which is it's pretty awesome. I think it's very similar to when they remade Wind Waker. It was kind of like, oh yeah, we've been working on this, so and you'll be able to play it pretty soon. So that's really cool that it'd be coming out this year. And I think we had even talked about a previous in a previous podcast, maybe in the last one, about a 2D Zelda game, thinking like, why would they release a 2D Zelda game? But I'm assuming you guys are like, oh, okay, that's why they would release a 2D Zelda game. This one kind of came out of left field. I'm pretty excited about that. So, all right. Any further thoughts about Nintendo Direct before we wrap up today?
Did he ask a question, Greg? I couldn't tell. All I heard was Torna, Link's Awakening, Torna, Link's Awakening.
That's like the official NintendoFuse meme now. It's like Steve. Steve just digs himself a new hole each time.
Yeah, that shoe just keeps going right in, and it just keeps going down. I mean, he's like a boa constrictor at this point. Yeah, his jaw is unhinged.
I can't wear the shoe because I only got 2 buttons. I got to switch out the thing in the menu, and
you do.
But yeah, Barry, I don't know about you, but this was definitely one of my favorite directs. Having Fire Emblem, Mario Maker, Link's Awakening. It's like some of the stuff I very, very much am very excited about. So it's pretty hard to beat that unless they were to throw in like Mario Kart in there as well. But I'll just take what I get, and had 3 very, very, very super titles I'm looking forward to outside of Yoshi. So
yeah, this is a great direct. There's tons of great content. Summer is going to be packed. I don't know how I'm going to have time to play everything I want in summer. Like, I don't even know if I'll be able to watch E3. I'll just be too busy playing these other games. Like, it's insane. Just I'm excited, and I hope that there is another direct between now and E3. Obviously, I expect some kind of game specific, maybe Pokemon specific, maybe probably not Yoshi, but maybe like Fire Emblem specific, or some other game we don't know about specific, or a Labo. Maybe that Labo VR will get its own specific direct. But I would hope there's another standard direct, even if it's just a mini between now and E3.
Usually they do, like it's like in April or early May.
Yeah, usually, but they also usually do a January direct, and this was pushed to February, and I don't see them doing one in May with June E3.
Yeah, but I mean, they could still move the April one up or leave it where it's at. But
I hope.
It just depends. Yeah, it just depends on what they have coming. If it's not really gonna be a whole lot, I mean, then they might just not have one.
They just did a Nindies direct in January, so maybe another Nindies thing, Nindies showcase.
That's true. Yeah. I expect something else. We'll see for sure. So before we wrap up, I just want to remind you guys to send in your questions. We do love to address your questions in our podcast, especially when we don't have an entire podcast filled with lots of announcements and rumors to talk about. But if you want to send in your questions, send them to podcast@nintendofuse.com. You can also contact us on social media and follow us there. Just search for @NintendoFuse on Twitter and Instagram. And we're also on Facebook and our Facebook group as well. We'd love you to join in that as well. And before we wrap up, let's talk about what we're looking forward to over the next couple weeks to play. Greg, anything particularly exciting that you're looking forward to?
Outside those pre-mentioned demos and Tetris 99, I was looking at to see if there was a game called Rotating Brave that looks like it's very like a retro style platformer adventure game, so that did look kind of interesting. And then that Undertale follow-up game that's free, the Deltarune. Yeah, that I would be looking forward to as well before the next podcast.
Cool. Barry, anything you're going to be jumping on the next couple weeks?
I'm planning to probably try to finish up the games I've got going on. I think, depending on when it gets to me, the Phoenix Wright trilogy is coming out in Japan physically, but it includes the English versions. So I never got around to playing them. I played the Professor Laytons, but not the Phoenix Wrights. So I might pop that in and give it a shot, just as something a little different. But I guess I'll have to see.
Yeah. I know we're hoping to get Barry and I are trying to work on Trials Rising.
Yes.
Standard edition's coming to Switch on February 26th, and so we're trying to get some review copies of that and get a game chat about that. So kind of follow up on our dirt bike trick genre sort of thing. That's not really a series, but I want to make it a series, and hopefully find a good one out there. I think this one would be good, but we'll see. We'll see. Haven't played it on Switch yet, so I'm also I'm not necessarily going to be picking this up, but I think it's cool that it's coming out. Just a reminder that Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove's coming out on March 1st. So if you're a big Toe Jam and Earl fan, that's kind of cool.
You can pre-order the physical edition right now at limited run while it's still open for pre-orders.
Nice. And this other game that comes out right after our next podcast. So our next podcast is March 4th, next episode, but March 5th, RBA Baseball 19 is coming out, and I'm not really excited about this, but I'm interested to see if they finally get it right with the 2019 version, and it's coming out so early. It's like the earliest they've been able to release an RBI baseball game. It's like barely into 19 they're already releasing it, so
baseball season hasn't even started yet.
I know. So
the catchers and pitchers have already reported for spring training, so
yeah, it's part of spring training, but for usually the summer is when the baseball games get released.
So, but Blake and I recently finally did our game chat over RBI Baseball 18, and you can go watch it, but I wouldn't download the game or buy the game, but you can watch our game chat about it. So I'm not holding my breath about 19, but we'll probably end up getting review copies, and we'll see what we think about 19, and hopefully get our game chat up a little faster this time around. But the big thing I'm excited about is Trials Rising. I love that kind of genre of game, and we haven't had a good one yet on Switch. So,
but after you finish Link's Awakening, right?
That's later this year.
Yeah. So I'm saying the Game Boy one.
Yeah, go finish the original first.
I gotta go finish Torna before that.
Yes, finish Torna. I'll let him do that first.
I knew Barry was going to point that.
Torna's a whole lot better than Link's Awakening.
That's actually arguable.
It's arguable. Okay, here we go. At least I'm somewhat back on your good side there. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Just another reminder to subscribe and share this video with other people you like. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell also to be alerted for every new video that we post. Another reminder that our next episode is on March 4th, 2019. And so it's just a couple weeks away. Any final thoughts, Barry? You got something?
Yeah, I just also want to mention that in between our two podcasts, I did actually do another podcast. I was a guest on the Stone Age Gamer podcast, episode 240, their State of the Union. And that you can go to geekade.com, give some love to them over there. They're great guys. And listen to that podcast. That was a lot of fun to do. And hopefully we can do some more collaborations. But give them some love and tell them NintendoFuse sent you, because love spreading the love in the community.
Yeah, totally. For sure. Well, Greg, Barry, it's been great. And thanks to everybody in the chat. We had several people in the chat. It's been a great to kind of follow along with you guys and have you join in the conversation for this episode. But until we see you and you guys hear us next time, happy gaming.
Happy gaming, guys.
Catch y'all later.